And I want to thank all my guests for appearing, as well as my faithful engineer, Mr. Jim Savalia. Thank you so much, Jim. So today we're going to have the usual. We're going to have a couple of interviews, we're going to have a couple of movie reviews, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So today we're going to start off with an interview I conducted a few days ago with Ron Shelton, director of the new film Just Getting Started, and it stars Morgan Freeman, Tommy Lee Jones, and Rene Russo. He's got impressive credits, Bull Durham, Tin Cup. This is a very seasoned director, and we were very fortunate to get a chance to speak to him. So here is an interview with Mr. Ron Shelton.
Hi, Ron. This is Randy Unger. I'm with Unger the Radar. How are you today?
Are you New York?
I am, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Are you in L.A.?
I am.
Okay. Well, thanks for taking the time today. Just wanted to congratulate you on the film. It's really, really good, funny, smart, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. How did you get involved with the project?
Well, I ran into Billy Gerber, who's one of the producers who was the head of production at Warner Brothers, was back in the day when I made, Cobb and Tin Cup. And we were just kind of getting caught up. I hadn't seen him in years. What are you doing? What are you doing? And we started talking.
Okay.
And about a character we know who will go nameless, but he was kind of a hustler, lovable guy, and it led me to invent in Bad Traffic, getting back to my Santa Monica office, this character of Duke, who which sort of, before I got back to my office, I had this whole idea for a movie set in Palm Springs at Christmas. So it was very odd. So the idea came to me quickly, and then the writing time was the normal amount. But it came from an old meeting and the character that we knew.
Okay. What was it like working with this amazing cast?
Well, I was fortunate, obviously. I've been very lucky in my career to have these wonderful actors and actresses. In the case of Tommy, I knew him, and I'd worked with him before, and we did a very dark picture about Jack Cobb. But he's a complete pro, and Morgan, I discovered, was equally a complete pro. And so I had two veterans who are talented, iconic actors who are also completely prepared every day, every moment. They know their lines when they get there. The questions are smart. The things they bring up are smart. And just every young actor should sit and watch these guys. You know, there's no drama except on the screen. So, and they were a perfect odd couple pairing that is what I wanted, because they're so different.
That's great. And what was it like? What was the casting process like? Do you have other leads in mind?
Well, I didn't have anybody in mind when I wrote it, and we were talking names, and we got a financing partner, which was great because they could make an offer. When you make an offer to an actor, you get their attention in a hurry. And when Morgan's name came up, I said, "Well, I didn't think of him at all, but I liked the idea. I liked the surprisingness of it, and so we offered it to him, and he really liked the script, and then I called Tommy and said, Tommy, I got a script for you. Take a look. It's real. Morgan's in it, and he says, I want to play off. I like this. I like the idea of playing this off of Morgan, and I mean, it's not like anything Tommy's ever done. He probably smiles more in this movie than he's ever smiled.
Yeah, I think he did smirk a little bit more than he usually does.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. So, I mean, did you hang out with the cast and crew when the cameras were rolling? It seemed like a very light-hearted set, like everyone was getting along. Was it that way?
Well, I tried to create, the answer is yes. I try to create sets where everybody's a team. I mean, it's very athletic in that regard. And, you know, we try to show up very prepared every day and stay on the plan and the schedule. I don't like these sets that are just chaotic, and I know about them, and we stick to the plan. And we had a very, very, very short shooting schedule, 28 days, so you have to kind of stick to the plan. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of time to hang out when you're shooting that fast, because by the time you're done, you go back to your hotel and have a couple of cocktails and come back to work the next day. But I will say we got along great.
Okay.
You know,
now this is an action, I guess you could call it a light action comedy.
Yeah, I never intended it as you know, they call it action comedy. You know, there's a little action. It's all kind of throwaway Shaggy Dog stuff. I mean, it's not an action comedy in the sense of what an action movie is these days. So I was I sort of didn't like that they were calling it an action comedy, but I didn't have anything better to call it.
I'd call it maybe a romantic dramedy.
There you go. Well, the expectations now, the expectations when the word action is on it is a $200 million visual effects. Right. You know, and we're not. We're a little indie movie, honestly, with a car chase and a truck chase that goes nowhere.
I wouldn't call it an indie. I'd definitely call it, you know, it's definitely above that.
Well, it's above that, but it's, you know, it's all made with, you know, Broad Green is a kind of a outlaw company, and the other partners are, it's not a big studio movie, and it didn't bust.
Now, what do you hope audiences take away from this film?
Well, when you hit a certain age, your life's still in front of you. You don't have to look back. You can keep looking forward. You know. Okay. Nobody's here looking at the pictures of their grandkids or their high school yearbook. It's all about where's the next party, who's next, what drinks are you serving. I mean, that's you know, the baby boomers, of which I'm one, are all, you know, what we were doing in the 60s. You know, we were going crazy.
Right.
It was, I mean, everybody was, well, you know, you've read about the 60s and the 70s.
Right.
Now all of us are 70.
Right.
So we've kind of done a lot of stuff, and now we want to start living again. Now, in my case, I still want to work, but I know people, retirement's a dirty word.
Right. No, it's a great film, and I love the message of, you know, just keep going forward and just have fun doing it.
Yeah.
So I know you were originally a minor league baseball player in your youth. What was it like transitioning from baseball player to filmmaker?
Well, I was a movie nut in baseball. I would go to movies every day, and I didn't think I'd ever make them, but you know, I liked writing a bit, and certainly more than most ball players, and I was an English lit major, and I'd always messed around with that. And after baseball, I wrote and published a few short stories, and then I started writing screenplays. So it evolved, really, and by the time I realized I really loved doing this, and by the time I was writing and directing, you know, I felt I was very fortunate because I was being paid to do something I was pretty good at and I really loved doing. And unlike sports where you lose a step every year, making movies you should gain a step. You know, you get better, I think. So it was, I took, the transition wasn't quick. It was probably, well, I'll tell you, about 18 years from the last baseball game to the first thing I sold as a screenwriter.
Now, was that Under Fire in 1982?
Yeah, that was the first feature that got made. I mean, I'd been for a couple of years selling little things or doing little rewrites just to make enough money to, you know, pay the rent. But then Under Fire kind of got me going.
How did that come about originally? I'm curious.
There was a script by another writer about a photojournalist, and Roger Spottiswoode, the director, basically known as one of Sam Peckinpah's editors. He actually edited. He lasted 3 movies with Sam. Nobody else did that, and he was becoming a director and a very good one. And he liked the script of mine he found.
Okay.
And he thought that this existent script about a photojournalist that I could do a page 1 rewrite, and I did, and we got it off the ground. So we went to Nicaragua with photojournalists. We got to know a lot of photojournalists, and we were fascinated by the politics of the whole thing. That's how it happened.
That's awesome. And it's a great, really, it's kind of an underrated film. You don't really hear a lot about it, but I remember it being very powerful. So certain scenes were just like really, very raw and very, really moving. So yeah,
well,
good,
thank
good
you.
job on that.
I get letters on that still when people go, oh my God, I didn't know you wrote it. And I got to direct second unit, and the great John Alcott, shot it. The DP who shot, I just blanked. Clockwork Orange, the great British director, all his movies.
Wow.
And so that was my film school in one movie, working for those guys.
Did you happen to meet Jerry Goldsmith?
I met him briefly once. I'm so sad he was gone. He died because I wanted him to do some movies for me.
Oh wow.
His score is still, he considered one of the best he ever wrote, and it's still a killer score.
I love it. The pan flutes and the electronics are just insane.
Well, you know what we did? I'm glad you asked this question, because we used pan flutes to temp the movie.
Okay.
And Jerry said he hated temp scores because he knew directors fell in love with them. He said it was the best temp score ever, and he wanted to use pan flutes. And so he wrote a completely original score, and they went to London to record it with the London Philharmonic. And they didn't have anybody that could play the pan flutes as good as the Central American natives, and so they had to get 2 flautists to alternate notes, where the native musicians were playing the whole thing themselves. They couldn't play it fast enough. So anyway, it came out great. Score.
Oh my God! Yeah, and I think it was nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. No, that's one of his strongest scores, I'd say. I'm a big Jerry enthusiast, and
I am too. And I, as I said, I only met him, but then was hoping to work with him. John Alcott was going to shoot for me, and Jerry was going to score, and then they both died young. Well,
oh God.
John had a heart attack. He was like 54.
Right. I think Jerry had some type of cancer in 2004. He passed.
I know it, but he wasn't that old either. It was
yeah, he was like maybe early 70s at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm just now imagining like a baseball, like Cobb scored by Jerry, or this movie could have been scored by Jerry.
Yeah.
He excelled, I think, in sports and action.
He had such a great orchestral sound that was very specific. A lot of orchestral scores since are just sort of mood pieces, but he was very, melodic and specific.
Right.
I did like our score in Cobb by Elliot Goldenthal, though.
Okay, I actually didn't hear that, but I do like Goldenthal as well. Demolition Man, Batman Forever.
Right.
Yeah, he's very good too. But yeah, for me, it's very personal for me. Like a Jerry score, a sports score by Jerry it's just always been great. And I don't know if you ever heard or seen the film Gladiator from 1992. It's a boxing drama.
Oh, I haven't seen it since then. Remind me of it. I remember this thing.
Well, the story, I'm not really sure. I just know about the score. Jerry's score was replaced by Brad Fiedel. This was in 1992. Jerry had written a few cues. I think he wrote maybe half an hour or 40 minutes of score, but it was replaced by Brad Fiedel, and it's just very electronic, and it's basically kind of like Hoosiers, but for a boxing film. It was really good.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm a big score enthusiast, like I said.
Wow.
How important is music to you in your movies?
It's very important. I'm a very big part of it. In this movie, we didn't, really have the money to buy some of the iconic Christmas stuff I wanted. So we got some offbeat stuff, some funky group doing Silent Night at up tempo, and so we went the other direction, except for Winter Wonderland, which Johnny Mathis recut with a jazz trio for us, because his famous recording is 70 piece orchestra.
Okay.
So that's the only piece we really spent money on. And then Alex Werman, who did this score for us, is really talented guy. I mean, this movie we didn't have much money for, so it was, for a big movie star movie, it was also kind of down and dirty. And
Okay.
Alex, I will go to his studio and he'll play pieces for me. We'll say,
Well,
let's take that one.
It was down and dirty, but it didn't look that way. I mean, it looked really, polished and.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it was
28 days. 28 days.
That's amazing. That's really,
Yeah.
very cool. So.
It helped to have actors who were that professional and that good that I could move them that quickly. And there was a lot of actors couldn't have moved this quickly. Because it's a dialogue-heavy movie, and there was lots of moves and locations, and we're always, we're not sitting in a soundstage every day.
Now you've got Morgan, you've got Tommy, you've got Renee, these huge, seasoned, iconic actors, and then I know there's a bunch of younger actors, maybe in their 20s and 30s. What was it like having to combine both generations?
Well, there's only 2 actors that are under 65 in the whole movie.
I
mean, you've got George Wallace and Joey Pantaleone and Graham Beckel and the late, very sad to say, late Glenn Headley and
right.
Liz Ashley and Cheryl Lee Ralph. I mean, they're all complete pros. And
so I guess I'm just thinking of the 2 actors who played the Villa Capri employee.
Sort of the intern guy, Jimmy. Nick Steen. He's a discovery. This guy is really naturally funny. I'd never heard of him. He'd never done anything really, and he came in and wanted the part in the audition, and Morgan loved him immediately. He's really got a natural comic sense. He has really good, fun deliveries, and he's already getting work off of this. So I'm thrilled. He was just like shocked to be as all these icons, and he's running around like, I can't believe I'm in a movie with Tommy Lee Jones.
That's awesome.
That kind of thing.
Randall, we got a wrap.
Oh, well.
Okay, one more question?
With New York. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'm just curious. What advice do you have for aspiring filmmakers out there?
Well, the digital world is a real blessing because it doesn't cost much to make a movie. Just don't try to make a movie make the movie that you can make great for the money you have. Keep it simple. Make it about human behavior. Don't try to make a $100 million movie for $150,000. So, because everybody wants a movie that's about people and human behavior, and if you keep it simple like that, you got a shot. Nice.
That's awesome. Well, Ron, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Under the radar.
Yeah, it's Under the Radar, and if you're ever in the Huntington, New York area, we'd love to have you maybe for an in-person interview. Where is Huntington? That's in Long Island, New York. Okay. Oh, great. I'll let you know. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye. Bye.
And we're back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Again, Randy Younger, Under the Radar. And I want to welcome with me is a very talented man, Mr. Timothy Dark. You are, an actor, filmmaker, rapper. You do it all.
I'm wearing a bunch of hats today. I was actually co-hosting earlier. So.
I know. That's good. It's a busy day for you.
Yeah, very.
How's it going? How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Cool. Had a nice ride over here.
All right. Where are you coming from?
Bushwick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the trip.
Yeah, of course, It's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. So, tell me a little bit about Dark Seed Entertainment.
Dark Seed Entertainment is an umbrella for everything I'm doing, from music to videos, which I made. I'm making this one into a short film.
Okay. Is that The Future you're talking about?
The Future and Unpatriotic together are the first 2 parts of a short film called The Future. My performances, the band thing, and everything else I'm doing is under the umbrella of Dark Seed Entertainment. Okay. The shirts, everything.
Cool. Merchandise too?
Merch, yeah.
Wow, you're all over the place. It's great. So what do you hope audiences take away from the Future music video? It says a lot.
I came up with the concept during the election time,
all right.
and I just feel like it's like hip hop. When you look at hip hop and you look at the beginnings of hip hop, most of the artists were like black or Latino for years, but you had like you had Third Base, you had the Beastie Boys, you had Everlast, and then most of the faces were black, and then all of a sudden you have Eminem.
Okay.
So people freaked out. Oh shit, a white dude, he's taking over. You know, it was fine.
Yeah.
You know, he was great. He did his thing. Everything went back to normal. So I feel like that's the same way it was with Obama. You know, you had all these white presidents. All of a sudden, you got this black guy. You know, and people are like, oh, you know,
something fresh.
yeah.
Good.
Next, we're gonna have a Latino. We're gonna have a, you know,
We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm
Maybe
with
we'll have
that.
you as the next president.
I don't want that, bro.
All right.
You see what happened to Obama's hair, right?
And that was just in 8 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about The Last Days of Dark, the album.
The Last Days of Dark is basically, it sounds ominous, right?
A
Like,
little
but
bit. No, it's cool.
it's like, you know, live each day like it's your last.
Okay.
You know, live in the moment, like you can achieve anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I read your bio, you've had some unfortunate
Yeah,
stuff happen to you.
I
so-
lost both parents in the past few years. You know, I had some financial issues. So
Okay.
yeah,
So this art, it's kind of taking you out of that funk
it's
a
my
bit.
therapy, man.
Yeah, this is your therapy. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, that's my therapy.
That's
like my
awesome.
dad used to say, therapy.
Nice. So when did you start rapping? What was the beginning?
Oh wow. Well, I got the music bug when I met James Brown for the first time.
Nice.
You know,
You were a baby or a kid
I
or?
was super young.
Yeah. I read. No, you read part of your bio
I
there.
was
Yeah.
super young. People were like, you know, the crowd was way over me. Yeah. But I was a hype man for a guy named Flicks
Okay.
for a while, and being on stage with him, and I was like, yeah, I want to be the front man, you know. And I used to write poetry, but I was afraid to. I was kind of afraid to do poetry in front of people.
Oh, yeah.
And the music kind of helped. You know,
Okay.
gave me that little push I needed.
So you were camera shy with just no music behind the words.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Still am.
Oh yeah. But you are in the music video. So would you ever make the jump to feature films?
I would love to.
Yeah, I could see that.
I would love to.
You'd be great.
Yeah.
Do you have any? What are some of your influences from film, actors or filmmakers?
I like Robert Rodriguez a lot.
Okay, cool.
You know,
Yeah.
just the indie thing when he talked about he went and he did the drug testing to make the money, and I was like,
Okay.
that's incredible. You know,
So you like kind of like horror, quirky drama, thrillers?
I'm a real superhero.
Oh, yeah?
guy. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about superheroes,
And we're
you
gonna
know.
talk about it right now.
I love this.
Thank you. That's
yeah,
from when I was a
yeah.
kid. Animated series, Batman. Love that show.
Yeah, that's hot.
Who are some of your favorite superheroes? I'm just curious. To switch gears a bit.
I love the Flash.
Nice.
You know, I was a track guy back in the day.
Me
so I
too.
love the
In high
Flash.
school,
You too?
I ran. Yeah.
That feeling of just, you
Yeah,
know, it's almost
yeah.
like flying.
It's a good feeling.
Captain America, Batman, of course. Daredevil. I love Daredevil.
Nice. Great show.
Yeah.
Great show.
I feel like they finally did him justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, about 2 weeks ago, we had George Papa D'Amatos on.
Was that Kingpin?
No. He was in just I think one scene in an episode,
Oh, okay.
but he was very good.
What was Kingpin?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio,
Yeah, from Men in Black.
Yeah.
Very good
he
actor.
killed it.
Yeah. Well, now if you were in an episode of Daredevil, what character would you want to play?
That's hard. Like,
It's okay. There's no right or wrong answer.
wow. White Tiger.
Okay, cool. I could also see you as maybe a cop. You know.
Could be a cop. I think he meant superhero. That's what I was
Okay.
like. That's what I thought
You're
about. I was like,
ambitious. That's good.
yeah.
So, who are some of your musical influences?
Public Enemy influenced me a lot.
Okay.
Just because they weren't afraid to say what they had to say, you know, there was no fear behind. Tribe Called Quest,
Okay.
Slick Rick for the storytelling,
Okay.
you know, Eminem definitely,
Nice.
you know.
8 Miles on Netflix right now, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll watch that later.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, that's a great movie.
He's great. So yeah, would you ever see yourself in in an Eminem type movie, like about your life?
I would love to do that.
Just call it dark.
just dark.
Yeah, Dark Days or
yeah.
something
Or
like
the
that.
Last Days of Dark.
There you go.
You know,
Turn into
or
a.
the Past Days of Dark.
It could be a franchise. Why not?
Go back to the Bronx and just, you know, show where I came from.
Yeah.
Just show the times when I was trying to be down with the other rappers, and they wouldn't let me in the cipher. You know,
Really?
because I wasn't good enough. Yeah, I've been through all that.
That's
all right.
But you overcame that, and now look what you are.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's great.
Exactly.
So, in your opinion, what makes a good performer?
Stage presence, definitely. Connecting with the audience, like a DJ. Like when you go to a club and you see a DJ spinning,
Right.
you pay attention to what people respond to.
Okay.
So when I say Timothy, you say dark, and nobody says it, and I'm like, let me try something else, you know. So
Okay.
feel your audience out. If you
Okay.
do a sad song and you see people getting real quiet, and you notice like their emotions are becoming one with yours, then
Yeah.
you do another sad song, you
Okay.
know. Or if you see people looking at their watch or looking at their cell phone, and you hype them up. Yo, is everybody out there? You know, make some noise. So,
All right. Do you DJ as well, or?
I don't. Everybody asks me if I'm a DJ.
Okay.
I don't.
You got that energy, like, you know.
I would love to.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Cool. So, do you prefer acting to rapping, or vice versa? Like, do you have a particular
Honestly,
medium?
I started acting because when I came out of college, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. And it was like I added the paper, become an actor, and that's how it started.
All right. What was your major?
Psych.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
psych
good.
and English.
That's pretty much good for anything, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Psychology,
yeah.
knowing the mind of your audience.
Right.
You know, that's
But
cool.
my mom did put me in acting school when I was younger.
Oh, really?
She put me in like this Barbizon acting.
Barbizon.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, this is acting
Okay.
school. Yeah.
Cool. Did you enjoy it?
It was cool.
Yeah?
I loved it. Yeah.
Cool. How old?
8.
Really? Okay. It's a good age to start. but-
Yeah.
So, are there any musicians out there that like dream musicians you want to work with that you haven't already?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to work with Prophets of Rage.
Okay.
You know,
Cool.
you know what that is. Right? It's a fusion.
Not really.
It's a fusion of Public Enemy,
Okay.
Cypress Hill, and Rage Against the Machine.
Cypress Hill, I know, because when I was a kid, I had a cassette tape of Insane in the Membrane.
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
That was a hit.
Yeah. And that was like, what, 93, 94?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They had some awesome videos too.
I did. So, is it just rapping, or do you go into different genres too? I'm curious.
I have some songs where I don't rap.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like singing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have some pop songs. I have
Yeah.
some rock-ish songs. I actually want to make my next album minus the rap.
Make the next album just singing, like, not rap.
Yeah.
So what style would that be?
I guess
Just talking?
talking kind of Nelly-ish. On that,
Okay.
you know, somewhere between talking and Nelly.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Do you want to sing something now?
Sure.
Some little ditty?
Jim has.
Yeah.
A couple of
Since you're here,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
How about we do number 3 on that list,
Perfect.
Number 3?
Yeah.
which was Love Is.
Love is insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
Okay.
you're a performer.
I'm
You're
getting
used to it.
bro.
Yeah.
You know, one night there was a show and the performer didn't show up.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
was there and I jumped on. And
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
All right, man.
All right.
we're going to do number 3?
Oh, thank you.
Do it.
Thank you.
All right.
Hear what you're singing.
Thank you. That would help, right?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice. That's great. So, Timothy, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
being
brother.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you want to plug while you're still here?
Yes. December the 15th, I'm having a show at the Sidewalk Cafe on 6th Street and Avenue A. It's my band, The Indestructible Characters, and my friend Lorraine Leckie and her Demons at 11. So don't miss that.
Nice. Awesome. Sounds
Oh,
good.
man.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you,
here
brother.
today.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Great. We'll be right back with our film review segment, Everyone's a Critic, right after this. Hey guys, we're back, and this is our film review segment, Everyone's a Critic, and I want to welcome back two very intelligent and awesome individuals, Miss Ericka A. Hello.
Hey Randy, glad to be back.
Yeah.
Just like old times.
Yes.
We've made it like a month thing now.
I know, I like it. It's good.
Okay.
Welcome back. And Mr. Vincent Bonfanti.
What's going on, Randy? Thanks for having me back, bro.
Yeah, anytime. You guys are more than welcome. And I'm really grateful that we're here today, despite some of the movies that we're about to talk about.
Back to torture us again.
Right. It's not my fault. I didn't make the movie. But yeah, we've got three decent movies. One better than the rest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of like indie drama thrillers, I want to say.
Yeah. One of them being very artsy.
Yeah.
Very artsy.
Yeah. Two thrillers, one artsy, confusing trip.
Waste of time.
Yes.
And since it is a waste of time, we'll just start with that one.
We're gonna waste everyone's time right off the bat.
No, a few minutes at least,
Okay.
Ericka. So it's called Automatic at Sea, and basically it's about this young Swedish girl who accepts the invitation to go away with this guy she just met at a nightclub, and she goes to this weird island, which I'm not sure if we are ever given a name of that island or where that is.
No.
It's kind of like a mysterious, could be anywhere, maybe alternate dimension for all we know. And basically, the guy she's with starts to like unravel psychologically, and we're in for an interesting ride, to say the least.
Yeah, when you say it like that, the movie sounds interesting.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, don't get their hopes up. There
Right.
ain't no other dimension. There isn't any logic.
No.
There isn't even much beauty. There's a little bit of beauty to it,
Little
but
bit.
but you could look at it. That's 10 minutes. Beautiful enough.
Right.
End of movie.
Yeah. It tries a little too hard, kind of like you said it before, artsy fartsy.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to point out that, the film is very beautifully shot.
Right.
I have to give it that. The cinematography, everything. The acting's pretty good, too.
I like the guy, Peter.
Yeah, Peter was done very well.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm trying to. I don't want to say it's terrible because maybe this wasn't the intention of how I saw it. Maybe because some directors usually they kind of want to put in metaphors and they kind of want you to figure out what this movie was about and the theme.
Right.
I still can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll say it's terrible. You don't want to go there? I'm more than ready. It is a terrible excuse of a beautiful alliteration, of a flowing display of nature on this beautiful island.
Visually, it's stunning.
It was very
Where
stunning,
the script does not make any sense, and there's no conductivity, there's no connection,
Right.
there's no relation, there's no rhyme or reason.
It's just like, kind of
And
like
then you meet this other character, and it's like, wait a second, now there are three of them.
it's like a bad dream, I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, maybe that's the meaning. It's supposed to be a we'll except
Maybe, but we'll never
wake
know.
up.
No,
Yeah.
like you want to really try and say it was. I was like, okay, where is this going? Is this a thriller? You don't
Love
know
triangle or
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even see that.
Is there
Maybe you saw
even?
more than I did,
Is
but-
this like a moral that there's going to be some kind of moral at the end of the story? She's going to learn something from this
Yeah.
strange experience in America.
And there's scenes that don't add up, including a scene with a bicycle that
right?
is very sexual, I will say.
Yeah, a guy has sex with a bicycle.
Yes.
in the movie.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Don't ask me how it's done, but it happens.
yeah, we just see his legs going. It's bad.
It was more than what I wanted to see.
And now, Vinny, you are a seasoned filmmaker yourself. Watching this film from a filmmaker's perspective, what did you think of that?
Well, that's the thing, I mean, you try and depict on what the director's integrity was, his vision. So, I'd watch scenes over just so, because, you don't want to be one of that person that just goes and says, oh, this movie sucks, it's terrible. You really want to try and analyze it and say, okay, what was the intention here, you know?
Right.
Like I said, I don't know. Like, I thought maybe it was a metaphor, like maybe it was purgatory, and maybe Peter was the devil, and he, this was one of his victims that he was keeping at bay,
Yeah.
But the actress who plays Eve, who she did a really good job. This, I think, was her first movie ever.
Yeah.
She was
Really?
Swedish.
Livia Hazelius.
Yeah.
She was good.
Her narration of the story as she's talking in third person, I guess, she speaks in Swedish, and I found that interesting,
Though I did find the subtitles sometimes went a little fast.
Yeah, but like I said, there's no rhyme or
yeah.
reason, because during this, you're trying to understand Peter's character. Like, she says, I'm afraid for my life, but Peter doesn't give any inclination that he wants to hurt her. So I don't know what she was getting.
Well, she's
for.
worried because she sees that he's, becoming unhinged.
Yes.
So,
But as a filmmaker, I think the movie was directed by Matthew Lesnar.
Yep.
Yeah. He's got talent. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, he definitely has an eye behind the camera.
just not this movie. Not this
I
script.
mean, it started out with the right aspects.
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
doing a little film myself, I haven't done as many as you, but I mean, the lighting was always well done. There were never moments where he undershot or overexposed the characters. It was exposure, it was inside, it was outside. She transitioned a lot. There was also that garage or basement.
Yeah. I don't
That
know.
made
The
no
barn,
sense.
The barn.
Barn. That
Yeah.
made no sense and was supposed to be scary but wasn't, but always was well shot when he did go in there.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree the visual tone was really...
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
That's why I said it was engaging enough for me to continue with it. Like this guy obviously has talent. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
Maybe this was just a film, what they call a kitchen sink movie, where the director puts in everything that he loves about cinema. He puts in, You know, and like I said, visual-wise, it's there, but like if you're looking for a movie with a payoff, this isn't that movie.
Also, to know, I really enjoyed the soundtrack.
Yeah, it was done very well, very 80s-esque.
Yeah,
kind of felt
in the beginning, there was like this like electronic main title sequence,
and then it went to like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
songs.
60s.
That kind of stuff too.
What's the song?
Yes.
What's it? Donna's crying again.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. That song got stuck in my head.
Especially when they were driving around in the car.
Yeah. It was, I mean,
convertible,
it had
50s
good
looking car.
It had redeeming qualities about it, but
Not
overall,
enough.
did not
I do
work.
know also that this film, I think, was also partially kickstartedly fun too. Like I think he got half the money and he wanted to finish it. You know, I guess where they were filming, so which made it more interesting because I'm more drawn to those films because like, oh, this guy really wants to get this film made. You know. Like I said, he's got talent. Just this film was maybe it was just too smart for me.
Yeah,
that's all I'd say.
Or too dumb. I don't know.
I don't know.
So yeah, final thoughts, Ericka, on this film?
Skip it. It should never have been on the radar.
Not on the radar. I mean,
thank you
it's
for
very
exposing
low.
it.
Very low on my radar. Very low.
All right.
Vinny,
well, if you're into very artistically integrated movies, films, see it.
Right.
If you're just looking for a movie to pass time, skip it.
Yeah. It's a little pretentious.
Very pretentious.
And it is kind of skippable.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on. So next up is No Beast So Fierce.
Yeah.
And it's about a man who's in prison for 20 years, only to come out to look for his son, only to find that he's a criminal himself. So, Vinny, I know this. We spoke briefly about this. I know this is kind of your style.
Yeah.
It's like an action thriller drama.
Kinda, you know, it wasn't like action, but you know, I found this one interesting. You know, I thought the plot was very interesting. It kept me watching because you know it's all about this character that was in jail for 20 years.
Right.
I'll tell what it was about. He pretty much. I don't want to spoil too much, but he murders someone when 20 years ago his son got bit by this dog.
Right, kills
and his son was very traumatized by this.
Right.
And he loves his son very much. Mind you, me and you probably would have done something very differently and a little more common sense wise.
Right.
But instead of maybe calling authorities or suing, he goes to murder the owner of the dog.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's in jail for 20 years.
Right.
And when he gets out, he only has one thing on his mind: finding his son, which I found very connected with because it's like, you know, even after all this time, he loved his son, you know, and he wanted to go look for him, and he finds out that his son turned out to be just as bad as him.
Yeah.
And
no spoilers, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, in general, like, you know, he finds his son, so, you know, through and through, he kind of leads a journey where he gets thrust into things, being out of jail, and bad things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Ericka, what do you think?
Oh, I mean, it had good qualities to it.
Yes.
It was a much better movie than that crazy thing on the island.
Yes.
I thought the movie maybe was too contemporary, and there were too many side characters that were thrown in that were never developed, that weren't believable. I mean, you had all this talk about these other gangs, because this is a character who was in jail, and there were gangs going on in there, and he was getting into trouble.
Right.
And you have all this build-up, and then they forget about it, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're going to go back to it. And then you have the not believable mother of the child. What does she mean she doesn't know? And then she waves around the report card, oh, he was a great student, I was a great mother, except now he's a horrible person.
Right.
It just didn't add up. It didn't build in the correct fashion. It was too many characters, too many disbeliefs, too many... It was hard to suspend the disbelief enough to make it to the end of the movie where you get the big reveal. I mean, it has a really nice ending that I'm not going to spoil.
Right, thank you.
But how you get to that point and why you should even be interested in any of these characters that make it to the end of the movie because they built up all these other characters just doesn't work for me. Okay. So if you have time and you think you're going to like the movie, maybe you will. For me, I thought it was just a little too mundane, a little too generic, and like I said, maybe if it was set in a different time period, it might have worked better also.
I agree with you about a lot of supporting cast members kind of, you know, bogging it down a bit. But there is one character played by Dylan Baker, the second lead, basically.
Yes. He did good.
He's excellent, and I'm pretty sure he's the most expensive actor in this movie.
Yeah.
You think he got paid for real?
He was Dr. Kirk Connors in the original Spider-Man movie.
That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Like, okay, that's not who I think of him at all, but okay, we'll go there.
He was also in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
That was one of his first roles.
Yep.
But he's kind of like this Steve Buscemi type in my kind of like a goofy nerdy guy, but gets thrown
a little more serious.
A little bit. he's kind of a drunk, and I don't know. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. He's great.
I thought the movie was interesting enough.
If you were able to really focus on him and drown everyone else out, I think that would improve the movie a great deal.
You don't think he overshadowed everybody in a good way?
I don't think he overshadowed everybody. I think that if he could have, that would have been a good thing. But I don't think he was enough of a presence.
Okay.
And then I didn't question. I sort of questioned at the end his whole path that he took. Was this really planned? And why? It just didn't add up.
Did you guys like Bailey Chase, the main guy who was in prison?
He was really good, actually.
Intense.
Really good.
Very intense.
I even liked how the film opened. It had a quote like, "If you seek revenge, dig 2 graves." So you kind of see where the movie's heading that way.
Nice.
But overall, I mean, like I said, I feel a little differently. Like, obviously the side characters were whatever, but I think the theme of the movie, it was very connective. You know, because you really were rooting for this guy. Like, you felt very sympathetic.
Right.
And he just wanted to find his son and help him. He just heard that his son was in a bad situation. I just want to help him. But then it's just the road that he takes to help.
Yeah.
The road less traveled.
Exactly.
But at least from a female perspective, he was really sexy.
Okay then. So, Vinny, this is like the perfect movie. The perfect movie that I could see you directing.
Yeah, I mean, I like stuff like this. Plus, I like stuff. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but it does have a payoff that I kind of liked.
Right.
There were a lot of scenes where I felt could have went faster, and there was a lot of little exposition here and there. But I get it with a movie like this, especially, obviously it's done very independently. Mm-hmm. So you kind of, where you lack in budget, you kind of want to give a little more exposition, So I don't really try to hold against that stuff.
Right.
But at the end, I enjoyed the payoff,
Also, this movie was... it actually came out last year.
Yeah.
Really?
So I wonder what happened between now and then.
Marketing, trying to get a production company to shell it out there, distribution wise.
Trying to get enough film festivals to pick it up also.
I see this just on Netflix. It's fate.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't like any huge names in it either, So.
But Tim McCann, who the director, he actually did a movie called White Rabbit a couple of years ago.
I know.
Also, I think that was a much better film than this.
Yes.
That had more of an indie feel to it. Yeah. Also, kind of like a thriller.
Thriller, but also more of a flow to it.
It flowed definitely.
This definitely had a generic feel to it.
Yeah.
This definitely.
And that's why I didn't really find it that impressive.
Yeah. Like I said, it's good.
Yeah, it's
good.
It's decent. It's watchable, definitely. So, guys, final thoughts on No Beast So Fierce, Ericka.
I would say I hope it does well in film festivals and it gets to continue. Maybe it needs a little more of a second edit cut.
Some spice, huh?
No. Shortening.
Oh, okay.
Or building.
I thought the length was actually perfect.
I mean, it was a good length. I just thought that too much of it was filler.
Yeah. Okay.
But definitely, if you're interested, if this is your genre, the first of 2 that seem to be in the same genre, I would definitely go see it. I could have lived without it.
And the prison sequences are pretty well done.
Yeah.
Yes.
I enjoyed those. Well. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen just a straight up prison movie. That would have been good. But Vinny, final thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. If you like, I would say it's kind of a mystery. The movie mystery film. If you like thrillers and it has a lot of suspense in it, I would say watch it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. So our final film for today, called Thumper, and basically it's about a bunch of teenagers who get involved with a drug dealer. And one of the teens tries to get to the bottom, tries to expose the drug dealer. I won't go into too much detail.
Yeah, that's another one.
Right. They're all like kind of this week.
Kind of like little things in there you don't want to spoil.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was like, wait, that wouldn't be how I describe it, but if you say too much.
Instead of Under the Radar, this is the no spoiler zone
today.
Yeah, it
should be.
I really like this movie. I am even considering putting this on my top 10 of the year. Yeah. So, Ericka, what did you think of Thumper?
I enjoyed it. It did a much better job of creating the suspense, action-ish, dark scenes movie without saying too much. The main female character did a good job. She was totally believable in each of her 2 personas that she builds. I think I would have liked seeing the little boy a little more. I felt bad for him.
Oh, right. The mentally challenged brother of one of the...
No, not the mentally challenged brother.
Oh.
The child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And his trauma that he was going through, as he was this side plot. But I actually liked his plot almost as much as the main plot. As a character and his father.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, that was a plot I attached to. Maybe it built the story better for me. But the teens were nice, and the main character, one of the female teen girls, she looked like someone and as I was watching, I was trying to get to the credits because I was like, why do I know her?
One of the girls that was smoking the meth in the car?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
With the one in the back seat or the passenger seat?
The front seat, yes. Yep. Okay, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. So when you talk, you could tell me who that is.
Okay.
Wait,
okay.
You've seen her before?
Yes.
Okay.
And I could not place where, and that distracted me for like a little bit, but I was glad to see her working again.
Yeah.
And all the characters, I was able to suspend disbelief and actually take them for who they were and face value in the movie. And the only regret I had was the ending was really intense and gave me nightmares.
Oh, it wasn't. It was a little gory, but it was...
It woke me up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vinny, what do you think of Thumper?
Yeah, this one definitely had the biggest budget out of the three, I would say. I mean, they even had Cersei Lannister in it, Lena Headey. I mean, honestly, they promote the movie with her, but if you put all her scenes together, it's probably about 8 minutes she's in the movie.
Yeah.
But she's probably the biggest name they had in it. I did enjoy this one. There were certain generic things about it. The movie wasn't what I was expecting. It kind of had like this, I don't know if you've seen the movie Kids, it had like the kids feel
yes.
to
Love
it, kind
Kids.
of.
It's a great one.
It has to do about selling drugs and doing drugs kind of thing. And like I said, there's not much we could say without spoiling certain aspects of it. But I did enjoy this one as well. It definitely had a story arc that keeps you going to the end. You want to see how certain story arc lines are resolved, Yeah, that's really much. Like I said, it's like generic, but not generic, you know. And there's too much I can't say because there's a character in it that has something that's like
it's been done before, but at the same time, it hasn't been done.
I thought it was the best acted out of the three films. This one was the best acted one.
Yeah, and speaking of the actors, Eliza Taylor, who is the lead, the girl with the blonde, purplish hair.
She was excellent.
Excellent, like a young Sharon Stone, I'd say. Very talented.
Also, the kid who played, what was it, Beaver? He was just recently in Punisher.
Oh, was he?
Yes, he was in
I
the
thought
Punisher
the two
Netflix series.
Unfortunately, I thought the two guys were interchangeable.
Really?
Daniel Weber was Beaver. And Whitney Harvey was the blonde-haired jerk.
Yes.
But, in my opinion, by far the best thing about this movie is Pablo Schreiber.
Oh yeah, he was great. I remember he was in 13 Hours. He was excellent in this as Walt, right?
And Orange is the New Black.
Yes, he was really good. Very intimidating character. Very intimidating.
But at the same time, kind of like charming.
Yeah,
likable.
Because I think you could talk about his character a little bit. He's the one who cooks the drugs and has people sell it, and you kind of see that he has a wife and kids, and he also was a veteran. So and I don't want to say in a bad way, you kind of feel sympathetic, but he's a
good drug dealer.
Well, not good drug dealer.
Okay, you say that.
He's kind of like a person that fell ill to the way the system is, coming home from the war, and you can't. So they find their ways to make it.
And they try to build him as a character. The one scene with the pharmacist, they do try to actually humanize him.
And honestly, I think I could have totally just seen a feature-length film just
of
him.
Absolutely. And it's hard to say you could relate to that, but I like in movies where someone's doing something is bad, but you give them a reason to kind of be sympathetic to why they're doing it.
In that respect, I guess you have to credit the screenplay.
Absolutely.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah.
Is it an original screenplay or an adaptation?
It was written by the director, same guy, Jordan Ross.
Yeah.
So I think it was an original screenplay. It felt original.
It felt original.
And I'm curious about the title.
Thumper.
It's from Bambi, right?
Yeah, I don't know who was Bambi. Thumper and the rabbit.
There's a character Beaver.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of related.
Walt Disney, maybe?
Maybe it's more considerate, more to the White Rabbit kind of idea and going down the rabbit hole.
Oh, I see.
That could be true,
It's weird because a previous film we reviewed he did a movie called White Rabbit. So
maybe that's
coincidental.
Disney-oriented, even though it's not a Disney film.
So, guys, final thoughts on this one? Vinny?
Yeah, I say this is a watchable film.
Yeah.
I say watch it. There's enough. If you like those type of urban, gritty films, definitely like, like Narcs, like that movie with Jason Patrick.
Right, I didn't see that. Was that?
That was good too. It has that feel to it,
Okay. I'll check that one out. I like Jason Patrick and Ray Liotta, right?
Yes.
Cool. Ericka, final thoughts on Thumper?
Okay, out of all 3 movies, this was the one I'd say go see.
Yeah. Yes, awesome.
It's definitely worth hitting your radar.
Nice. So, guys, we have a few minutes. What are you looking forward to that's coming out, Ericka?
Oh, I've sort of lost track of what's coming out. I've been looking at it. I've been trying to figure out what is the award season going to present to us.
Yeah.
I do see that Hugh Jackman has a musical, and it's
Greatest
like I do
Showman.
love. Yes. But more, I was most interested in. I've already seen it. We skipped all of November. I was going to talk about Mystery on the Orient Express.
Oh, you want to
Murder
do
on
a quick,
Murder on it.
You wanna do
Murder
like
on the Orient
a
Express.
quick 30-minute review?
I guess. Did anyone else see it?
I
No.
didn't see it. I don't think anyone.
Shame on you. I mean,
it's got an incredible cast.
exactly. It has an incredible cast. It's a very well done adaptation of an Agatha Christie book. It's one of her more famous characters, Poirot.
Cool.
And I felt that it was true to the book. They didn't modernize it. They didn't actually.
And it's like the 4th rendition, right?
I want to
film?
say
Yeah,
more.
4th or 5th rendition.
Yeah, I want to say like 5th. And that's the only thing that frustrates me. Why do they always have to pick the same one story? She has like 100 books. Why
Oh,
do
yeah?
Yes.
That's funny.
And that's the one they always pick.
Okay.
And people who are more experts on her novels say it's one of her longest, and
Okay.
that's why.
Okay.
But it was really well done, and all I could say is thank God Johnny Depp wasn't the lead.
Gotcha. All right.
Because I was afraid he was going to do some weird French foreign
Yeah.
voice, and it would be like,
Well, he lives in France, I think.
I know, that's why I was
Yeah.
afraid he would do it. It would be like, oh, he already thinks he is French.
Oh, God. All right.
But he was brilliant in it too, now that he
But
wasn't
do you
the lead.
recommend it? Is it on
Yes.
your radar? Okay.
It is maybe one of the best movies on the radar this holiday season.
Cool. Vinny, quick.
Yeah,
Vinny,
I
go
can
ahead.
plug really quick. I actually saw it
Yeah.
too. Disaster Artist.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely love that movie. I was a big fan of The Room.
I haven't seen The Room.
It's a film that I heard about, that it was the worst film ever. I watched it, and I agree that it was the worst film ever, but it's amazing film, how
Right.
that got made. The whole story behind how it got made really intrigued me.
Nice.
I had all my friends watch it. They suffered with me. Then Greg Sestero, who's one of the co-stars in the film, wrote a book about it, Disaster Artist. And this caught the attention of James Franco,
Nice.
who directed beautifully.
He plays Tommy Wiseau.
He plays Tommy Wiseau, which is
Nice.
a character within himself. And this film is probably my favorite film of the year, hands
Wow.
down. How
Okay.
it was made, but there's a great heart to the film. You know, besides it being the worst movie ever, you know, the character Tommy. If you ever see Tommy Wiseau in real life, he kind of looks like a heavy metal vampire. Says he's from New Orleans.
So he's Lestat.
Yeah, he says he's from New Orleans, but he kind of talk like this, you know. And you know, but this guy on his own, you know, had a dream. You
Right.
know, where all of Hollywood was rejecting him, saying you're too ugly, you're going to be the villain. He never saw himself that way. He said, "I'm hero."
Got
You
it.
know, went out, funded this movie on his own for $6 million. No one knows where he got the money from, and just the journey of how he got to make this film was amazing.
Nice.
Everyone acted great in it. And like I said, the theme overall reminds me of me with my group, how just defying all odds, get this movie done.
All
That's
right.
it.
So, yeah, I have to see The Room myself.
You have to watch The Room before
First?
Disaster
Yes.
Artist.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
absolutely.
Guys, final moment. What do you have anything you want to plug? Or
Oh, no, nothing right
Nothing?
now. No
Vinny?
independent projects.
Yeah, actually, if you guys get a chance, I have a friend of mine who just opened up a YouTube channel called Nerd Sutra. We'll put the correct spelling in it because I don't know how to spell it. But he does reviews of films. They're very funny. If you get a chance, subscribe.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I hope to have you again on real soon.
Absolutely.
Have a great holiday season.
Same here.
Yes.
You know,
Thanks for having me.
And a
your
happy
family.
new year.
Likewise. And as for Under the Radar, we will not be on the air next Sunday, but we will be back on December 24th for a special Christmas episode. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in today, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hey!